Here comes socialism. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo.
Oh, I thought socialism was the subject of every night's Talking Points memo. That was the opening line of Bill O'Reilly's show last night. O'Reilly's Talking Points memo then went on for more than 3 research-free and fact-free minutes talking about what he likes to call Obamacare. And this time, calling it socialism wasn't good enough for O'Reilly. He went from calling it socialism to socialist communist, and then finally just plain communism. And in Bill O'Reilly's mind, where words have no meaning, universal health care coverage is communism because it's just so darn expensive.
That's a form of communism because no country could afford those payments without seizing the assets of everybody else. It's impossible.
Okay, so to provide health insurance for everyone who cannot afford it, a country would have to seize the assets of everyone else. So says Bill O'Reilly. It would be impossible to do that. According to O'Reilly, that's his word, impossible. Here is the map of impossible, according to O'Reilly. A map that O'Reilly viewers will never see. In green are all the countries in the world that do the impossible, that provide universal health care coverage, totally free health care to everyone who cannot afford it. And while they're at it, those same governments provide health care for everyone else, and they do it without seizing the assets of anyone. They do it through perfectly reasonable systems of taxation, very similar to ours. You will notice that the United States of America is not included among the countries that do provide universal health care coverage because we never have, and we still don't, and we won't, even with the full, successful implementation of the Affordable Care Act. Because the Affordable Care Act was written to be a cheap solution to the problem. The Affordable Care Act was never designed to provide health care coverage to everyone in this country, although both Democrats and Republicans continue to say that it does do that. The taxes that were enacted to pay for the Affordable Care Act are obscure, small-dollar items that most Americans will never pay and never even be aware of. The only Affordable Care Act tax that O'Reilly himself might ever pay is the tanning salon tax. Next time Bill goes to a tanning salon, he's going to have to pay 10% tax for the Affordable Care Act. And something tells me Bill's going to be able to afford that.
The truth is that the USA, at this point in time, can't afford to pay for Obamacare unless working Americans give up more of their assets, in some cases, much more. And that's a memo.
There is a virtual guarantee that when Bill O'Reilly begins a sentence with the phrase, "the truth is," what you are about to hear is not the truth. The truth is that the Affordable Care Act is already paid for through the taxes included in the law that most Americans will never pay, and through the budget savings in other federal health care spending that is also part of the law. Don't expect Bill O'Reilly to be rewriting his memo to make it true, because he leaves that to me.